who live in a podcast quite far from the sea. Marco and Brad, who make up new segments whenever they please. Marco and Brad.
Oh,
Real
my
Brad
word.
impressions are something you wish. Marco and Brad. Then simply click play and ready for bliss. Marco and Brad. 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 On this episode of the Level Cap Podcast, featuring level 99 games, SpongeBob, or otherwise.
It's Marco's fault. It's all Marco's fault.
Are you okay, Brad?
Just keep telling you myself. It's all Marco's fault.
Are you in a fetal position in the corner?
Something like that at my desk. Uh-oh.
Good morning,
Oh,
Brad.
Oh man. Yeah. Profound sadness.
Oh my gosh, you will have to thank listener Xavier Lloyd for giving us the best lyrics to the
Oh man.
and by best I mean the only lyrics.
If this is the Lloyd that I think this is, why would you do this to me, Lloyd?
I think it's because it's Marco's fault, and he wants you to suffer.
Is probably upset that something shipped slow to Canada. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is all
This
divine
is a revenge song.
Oh my gosh. Brad, how are you on this fine morning? Did you love my singing?
I'm doing well. I'll just ignore that comment completely and move on. Wow, we got a great show planned for you today, folks. I'll just say things are good. Stayed up a little bit late playing Danganronpa, but I'm doing okay. I'm still here, and we got a lot of cool progress on 7th Cross this week, so that's good. How about you, Marco? What's new and cool?
Well, this is pretty funny because you just played Danganronpa, and I bet throughout the entire 30-minute segment at the start of this episode, you probably felt the ultimate despair. So
yeah, I guess we could call that segment Ultimate Despair.
Yeah, Ultimate Despair, the segment where Marco does things that makes Brad feel sad. It's been great. I've been a bit tired, a lot of work recently, but it's fine. A bunch of overtime, but it's gonna be great. I love doing podcasts with you. So even if it's quote unquote work, it never feels like it. So Brad, can I interrupt our introduction segment with a little bit of news?
Sure, go for it.
Excelente, because listener, it is time. It's around halfway through the month, and you know what that means, Brad?
New contests?
Yes. Now, listener, have you ever thought to yourself, man, October, it's a spooky month, isn't it, Brad?
Yeah, super spooky.
Spooky! And Level 99 Games wants you, listener. Brad, say you, listener.
You, listener.
Nice! To help us celebrate Spooky Ween by participating in our Level 99 Games Halloween contest. Test.
Ooh.
Brad.
I'm trembling with fear, Marco. What could this contest possibly be?
Brad, this contest is super scary because it involves putting your creations on the internet for people to judge. Is that not the scariest thing in the world?
It does feel like kind of standard fare. There must be more.
Alright. No, So this one's very interesting because it's not actually tied to a specific game. We want all of you Level 99 gamers out there to be able to post some Halloween stuff for any of our franchises that you like. Want to make Halloween-themed Millennium Blades cards? Want to carve a pumpkin in the face of a Halloween Indians character? Want to cosplay as one of your favorite Indians characters with a little bit of a Halloween twist? Do whatever, so long as it is something that you can send to us as an image file. That can be an entry. If you guys want the specifics, it will be in the description down below, and it'll also be linked to this podcast. So, Brad?
This one seems a little bit difficult to judge. Is this actually going to be a judge contest, or is this more like a sweepstakes, where everyone who enters gets a chance to win?
Exactly. It is more like a sweepstakes, or a spookstakes.
Man, you're trying so hard, but I gotta shut you down.
Oh, Brad. Okay, so no, but seriously, this contest isn't a judged contest. So this is more of just like, we just want everybody to be able to submit something and just celebrate an Indians Level 99 Games Halloween in their own special way.
Yeah, all right. Well, it sounds pretty cool. I'm curious to see what people are going to come up with and how you. What do you think makes our game spooky for Halloween?
Yeah, spooky. I just can't wait for somebody to just post like a beat of BattleCon wherein somebody plays like something like Weirding Dash and do whatever, and then they just like, this is the spookiest or whatever.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll see. I think there's some neat stuff people could do. It's pretty open ended though, so I'm curious to see what folks will come up with.
Yeah, this is a contest all about the listeners' creativity. We're not limiting you this time, and if you're not really, a lot of people tend to not join the contest because they're often too scared about how good their art piece is.
Too scared.
Ooh. Yeah, but they're often really scared about how good their art piece is, or will it even win. So, I thought it would be great to introduce a contest that's more of like a sweepstakes, charity, lotto style, so that everybody has a chance to win.
Right, your skill is not important this time.
Yes, may the RNG gods bless all of you on this spooky ween. So, Brad, do you have any news? Because that was my news. That was all of it.
Not any major news over here. But still, check out Temporal Odyssey. It should be up on Kickstarter now. I know I said that. We had some delays. I did some repricing. I did some work on the shipping, and we managed to actually, adjust the goals a little bit before we started. So that put us at a delay, but it is starting up. So this week, check it out, Temporal Odyssey, and that'll be up. Aside from that, the Pledge Manager for Exceed Season 2 should be open at this point, so if you are listening to this and you did not get Exceed Season 2, check it out. It's one of the coolest games, one of the most beautiful games that we've done. So much, over a year and a half of art has gone into this game, and the design for Exceed Season 2 is super fun. The character transformation is all great.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I think that's all the news from our end. Just getting ready for new projects and etc. So
awesome.
Things are going well over here.
I think that's really interesting when you talked about the transformations. Listener, if you like stuff like Bloodborne or maybe Dark Souls, that Castlevania, I don't know, anime in general, Exceed Season 2 is going to be for you. Check it out. It's great. I love it.
We're definitely quite inspired by that sort of aesthetic.
Yeah.
So then make sure to take a look.
All right, Brad. But you know what's more fun than talking about Exceed Season 2, in this very moment?
Playing Exceed Season 2?
Yes, but also playing other games. Like our Game Club game for this week. Brad, our Game Club game for this week is...
For this week is Guild of Dungeoneering, which we talked
Guild...
a little bit about last week.
This is the Guild of Dungeoneering. Yeah. Yes, we talked about it last.
Our resident bard Marco will sing the song.
Yeah, so this is one thing about the game that I really love, is that I think on a presentation standpoint, Guild of Dungeoneering blows Monster Slayers out of the water, right?
It's in terms of art and graphics, they're probably on the same level, but sound design.
Yeah, exactly.
In Guild of Dungeoneering, there's this bard who sings these silly and infuriating songs every time you die. And the songs are just great.
So good.
It kind of reminds me of Pyre or Bastion, where the narrator is a major character.
Yeah.
And they don't take it that far, but it is really neat that when you start singing about how dead your characters are, and you're just like, ah.
Yeah, but you can't turn it off because the bard actually sings really well, and the lyrics are kind of funny. So it's no matter how frustrated you get, it's so fun to listen to the bard every time.
It is pretty neat, and when you hear him, sing and your character's dead, it does take a little bit of the sting out of defeat. So I think that's really nice, is that even the law, when you lose, something funny happens, and it makes you so you're not so upset about it anymore.
Definitely. So for all of you who didn't listen to the previous episode, Guild of Dungeoneering is essentially a roguelite dungeon crawler game that has deck building mechanics built into it. The way this game works, though, is very different from your typical deck builder because your equipment actually has certain keywords on them, and by amassing equipment of specific keywords, you gain a set of cards. So for example, there's a keyword like fast, and that gives you like one card called swift. But if you have two equipment with the word fast on them, you gain an extra card called interrupt, and so on and so forth. So it's often very good to stack all of these equips with the same keywords so that you gain access to the higher level cards, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a pretty neat system because it guarantees that you scale your power up as you go along. The game is also very very back and forth. Like, you get to see what your opponent has coming up, and so unlike some of the other deck builder games, which are more just like play your good stuff and hope that your opponent doesn't have good stuff, you can very much play around what your enemy is about to do, and that's a big part of the game, is preserving cards in your hand because you know the enemy behaviors and you need these cards to survive and counterattack them.
Yeah.
Because you only get like 5 HP in this whole game, so you got to be real careful about how you play each card.
Definitely. There's an entire class in the game that's built around that entire concept, right?
I feel like all the classes.
Oh, yeah, but
all the classes are built around that concept.
The mime specifically is built around that entire concept because the mime can, quote unquote, load the opponent's hand. So you can discard cards from your opponent's hand by choice. So you can, like, essentially dictate the AI behavior for the next, like, 2 turns or something whenever you use the mime. So that's great. It's fun.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember those. And they can also copy cards. Like, they copy whatever your opponent's current card is, too.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So they're pretty fun. Mimes are pretty fun. So Brad, this versus Monster Slayers, I already talked about how I think it's better presented. What do you think about it, though?
I think they're just different experiences, really. Like, it kind of goes to show you how you can take a very similar mechanism and make a very different game experience. Because Monster Slayers almost feels like a speedrun kind of game to me.
Yeah.
And it's just the presentation of them running back and forth, but like you're like going through all these, you're doing all this crazy stuff. Dungeoneering is very much more measured. The dungeons have a very short size and they reset between dungeons. So if you, you run through and you complete things, it is much more progression focused, I guess.
Oh yeah,
when
definitely.
you beat a dungeon in Dungeoneering, yeah, it's over. But with Monster Slayers, it's kind of that rolling the boulder up the hill thing, where if you beat 2 dungeons but you don't beat the 3rd one, then you got to start over again with just a few small buffs.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting because I feel like Monster Slayers feels more like a quote unquote traditional roguelite, where it has those you gain small bonuses when you die. But Guild of Dungeoneering feels much more like a guild managing system. Like, I mean, I guess it's in the name, right? But like a lot of the game actually makes you feel like you're the guild master of some dungeoneering guild, and you just send all of your hapless adventurers into the dungeons and stuff. So there's a lot more there's a lot more management, right? So it's interesting. Thanks for making me play this game. It's eaten up a lot of my time.
It's really nice, and the fact that it's on mobile means you can play it anywhere, anytime, and it's quite accessible.
I think that's a big thing I want to talk about. That was another talking point that I forgot to put in the docket, but like I've been able to enjoy the Guild of Dungeoneering much more than Monster Slayers, mostly because I dislike the fact that to play Monster Slayers, I have to sit in front of my PC and dedicate my time to actually playing Monster Slayers. But when I play Guild of Dungeoneering, I can be watching TV or watching YouTube videos or just walking or whatever around the house while playing it, and that's a big factor.
Yeah,
so
I agree. It's the accessibility factor is much higher for this one.
Yeah, definitely. So Brad, would you recommend people get Guild of Dungeoneering?
I would say definitely check it out. I've quite enjoyed it, and it sounds like you have too.
Definitely. But Brad, Brad,
Marco?
tell me, in the heart of your hearts, is Guild of Dungeoneering the most exciting thing we're going to talk about in this podcast?
Well, it is the Dark Souls of Dungeoneering. So
Oh, gosh.
Maybe so.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Brad, who's the Dark Souls of characters of the week?
The Dark Souls of characters of the week is Archmage Eulalie Kimbe.
Okay.
The star player of BattleCon Trials. The most important character that is not playable in Argent the Consortium.
Wait, why? Whoa.
Because you have to get the staff to get a vote. She gives a whole vote for that thing.
Oh, wow. Just the staff alone is a vote?
Yeah. Well, if she's on the board.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's probably the easiest point to get and the easiest point to steal away from other people.
Wow. Okay. So Brad, tell me, who's Kimbe or Eulalie? I don't know. Whenever you gave her this first name, that makes me think ukulele every time.
Eulalie is a real name.
Ukulele? Okay, I'm lost.
Anyway, okay. Well, she goes by Kimbe because she's important enough that she doesn't have to use Eulalie anymore.
Oh wow! So she's a last name kind of person, kind of like Rexan.
Yeah. Archmage Kimbe is pretty important in the world of Indies. She's kind of a big deal. People know her.
Oh. So what's an Archmage? Tell us about Kimbe. History, Archmage. What? I don't know.
Okay. So the Archmage is kind of an unofficial political appointment. And it's held by the most powerful ecomancer in each nation. So Kimbe is a very powerful ecomancer. She's actually in the same discipline as Pendros. But where Pendros has all these, like rain and wind and lightning, like Kimbe has lightning and earthquakes. And so she can do a lot of damage. And is a very, very aggressive fighter in BattleCon Trials, where she appears as one of the cover characters.
Yep.
So Kimbe is a graduate of Argent in ecomancy and spellbinding, which is the sorcery enchantment art. It's how they make magical items, like traditional magical items.
Okay.
And she traveled around with the previous Archmage for many years, and eventually, when the previous Archmage was killed in a duel, she took over the seat, and so now she works as Archmage Reliquor. The job basically involves just keeping the weather regular, so that farms function, and and everyone is good harvests, and everybody can be fed, and their homes are protected, and etc. But it comes with a lot of political power, because as the Archmage, you can, that kind of goes both ways, right? If the people do not do what you say, then you can just withhold rain, which is a pretty big deal.
Oh wow, you are literally a god, basically, I guess.
I mean, it's some serious political power, yeah. And so even for an unofficial appointment, everybody has to respect Kimbe.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So in addition to managing the weather, she also sort of manages the magical tradition of the country. So whatever art that she says is the important traditional art for Reliquor, which in her case is spellbinding, like making magic items, then that is kind of sets the tone for the tradition of the country.
Ooh.
Yeah. So she's very wary of technomancy, very wary of like a lot of the darker magic that comes out of Gesselheim.
Oh.
And so she's much more of a traditionalist, and encourages sorcery as the main magic tradition in Reliquor.
I see. I just imagine Kimbe going, "You dang kids and your technology," and then like newfangled computers and whatever.
She's not that old. She's not that old, but yeah, she might say that kind of thing.
Yeah, old woman Kimbe skin. Do it for Mother's Day.
No.
Oh my gosh,
Kimbe's actually not that old. She's really short, and she wears these really tall shoes to compensate for her height.
Oh, I thought they were just styling.
No. She's real short. But even looking up to people, she still kind of has that aura of authority. So.
Oh wow, she must be awesome. I like this character a lot. I just have one question. So she does spell binding, right? And a lot of her unique ability in the game actually revolves around this staff. What's this staff? What's it about?
Yeah. Well, it's So this, I mean, she made it herself. During a lightning storm that she conjured. A bolt of lightning hit the ground. It formed a piece of fulgurite, which is like a lightning rock.
Cool.
Basically like sand that's been turned to glass by lightning. And so she took that and she thought it looked cool, and so she made it into this really awesome staff. And being an expert spellbinder, she made a really, really good staff out of this rock. And so, but it's solid rock, and so it just kind of floats around after her most of the time. Anyway, that's really it. It just has a lot of really cool magic put onto it, and it makes you really good at spells.
I see. So it's just a +4 staff, is what you're saying.
It's just a +4 staff. But there you go. Let's see. Any other relevant?
How about Kimbe is a personal person?
Yeah. I mean, she is a she's very much a work focused kind of person. So you don't see a lot of her outside of that work. She is very, I guess, very traditionalist, very justice oriented, in that she goes and hunts down any mages that break these traditions that she is trying to uphold. People that bring in magic to the country that she is not, that she thinks is not, part of this tradition.
Oh, so she's the Inquisition. All right.
She's also a little bit of an Inquisition, yeah.
I see. So, one last thing is Eulalie Kimbe a human?
Yes, she's a human character. She does have wild magic of her own. Nothing too fancy, but she can tell the origin of items she touches.
That's really good.
So she can tell, what land materials came from, and also if they are enchanted, what people enchanted them.
Oh, okay. So so
this is a really useful investigation skill.
She has detect magic. All right, good.
Basically, detect origins.
Detect origins. Okay, so Kimbe is secretly a Dungeons and Dragons character. Shh! Don't tell anyone. Shh. It's really funny though. Can we talk a little bit about mechanics and theming? Because I think what's really interesting about this is that you've been talking about Kimbe as if she's this archmage. She does all of these cool magic spells, but the way she plays, and I think the way she actually fights, is she actually fights like Pendros. She is a bruiser fighter. She goes in and she punches things.
With lightning.
Like she has lightning fists and she just punches you and stuff. It's really interesting because a lot of Kimbe's game plan and play style is actually getting up in people's faces and punching them. And I feel like this is a play style that not a lot of people take advantage of, and I think I'm really happy that BattleCon takes advantage of this. The magic, the kung fu mages. I don't know what you call them, but we have a lot of kung fu mages in this game, and I just like that. I just really appreciate it.
I guess that's true. I hadn't thought of it that way anymore, but there are kung fu mages.
Yeah, there are like Seth's a kung fu mage, Pendros is a kung fu mage, Hikaru's a kung fu mage, like a lot of kung fu mages, and I just like it. I just like it a lot. So Kimbe's playstyle actually revolves around her staff. So she actually has a staff marker that starts in the center of the board, and she has a lot of styles and effects that allow her to move it. The thing, though, is that whoever's standing on the staff or holding the staff gets a lot of power, like +2 power. But it applies both ways, so Kimbe can get it, or opponents can get it. So it kind of makes this cool little mini game where both you and the opponent are kind of fighting over who gets the staff.
Mm-hmm. But even when you've got the staff, you really don't want the staff because Kimbe can call down lightning and strike it from anywhere on the board.
Yeah.
And then you just get zoned. So you can actually use the staff to zone opponents with Kimbe's unique base caster.
Which is super good, by the way. It's almost broken. It has 5 base power. That's how strong it is.
Yeah, and it hits anywhere as long as you don't move. So you have to have some before activating or start a beat movement to get out of this thing.
Yep, but if you don't, you get lightning struck and then you die. Kimbe's really strong. Like you often try to want to wrestle the staff marker away from her, but like you said, Kimbe has like 20 billion ways to make that the worst idea ever. She can just, steal the marker away from you because she just like uses the Force Luke and then takes the staff.
Well, it's a lot like Pendros, where like if you can get one of these cool buffs that he's put down, that's great. But you really don't want to fight him over these buffs because he's better at it than you are.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, like Kimbe just has 20 billion ways to take advantage of her staff marker.
Yeah,
and she just has 20 billion ways to push you off of it or to just take it from you. So,
but if you are a legitimate control character like Pendros or Darius or Clyde,
Tatsumi,
you could legitimately fight over it. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe Karen.
Especially if you have,
you could use that.
Especially if you have a lot of like small movement effects and a lot of fast movement effects, Kimbe might not be able to keep up. Kimbe actually has a lot of power, a decent amount of movement and hit confirm, but she is kind of lacking in consistent priority. Only one of her styles gives her like a big priority boost. The rest are middling to slow. So it's pretty interesting. I really like Kimbe. Actually, from the set of Trials, if Wardlaw were not there, Kimbe would be my favorite character.
Huh. Well, Kimbe is also going to be in BattleCon Online, so she will be playable probably at launch. Probably at beta. She's playable right now. She's 100% working. So we just got to get her art and her voice acting together, and then she'll be finished.
Oh, Brad, come on! Yeah. Why do you do this to me? I'm so.
Yeah, well, you've played BattleCon Online. It's coming along.
Yeah, it's so great, but it's like...
We've got videos now. You can see the videos.
Yeah, everyone, if you guys want to watch more BattleCon Online and possibly see Kimbe in action, please go to the Level 99 Games YouTube channel. You'll find it at YouTube channel / Level 99 Games, and you'll be able to see some of our BattleCon Online gameplay. Maybe, just maybe, I'll get Cameron to play a game with me and record it so I can play Kimbe online, and you guys can see how bad I am at her.
Well, aside from Kimbe, what else do we have to talk about this week, Marco?
Well, Brad, may I mustache you a question?
Mm-hmm.
On our 99 question segment, where I ask Brad a certain number of questions that he does not know prior to me sending him the show notes.
Okay, mustache you a question is like the worst thing ever.
Are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't the SpongeBob opening?
It may be SpongeBob.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Or I guess Sponge Brad.
Sponge Brad Square. Talton. No.
I don't have square glasses either, so I guess I don't know.
Dang. Okay. Whatever. Brad, let's move on and ask you some questions. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Are you ready?
Yeah. What's the question?
Let's get it on. Okay.
Let's move this along.
All right.
Questions.
All right. Question number 1. When can I join in?
Never. You're always an outsider, Marco.
No, not me. This question actually comes from multiple-time BattleCon World Champion Charles. He wants to know
BattleCon Online. This podcast.
He wants to know if he can guest on this podcast.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I think we can work something like that out.
Sure, I'll message him and tell him. I'll tell him.
Yeah, see what we can work out. So he's in Sweden, I think, or Norway.
Oh, okay.
But he's in Scandinavia, and so we'll have to manage 3 time zones. It'll probably be like lunch or dinner for him.
All right.
While we're doing this,
that's fine, Brad. You know us. We are star-crossed time lovers. Time friends, time podcast friends, not lovers. Sorry.
Time podcast friends.
Yes.
It's a pretty bad pitch for a Cartoon Network show. Let me tell you.
They would approve it. They approve Teen Titans Go.
That's a better title than Podcast Friends Go.
Okay, fine. Okay, question number 2. Let's move on from these dark thoughts. When an effect says opponents cannot move more than 1 space per triggered effect, does that apply to effects that I do to them? So if I had an effect that's like push 1 or 2 spaces, Will it always be one space now?
Yeah, I think so. Triggered effects are triggered by both players. There's nothing that indicates that it's only by their own effects. So
I see. Okay, that's good to know.
That said, I'm not actually the rules lawyer for this game.
That's Honig, right?
You want to talk to Honig about that.
Yeah, okay. So everybody, here's the secret mystical art that many of you might not know. Brad's not actually good at handling edge cases. So
yeah, I leave that to my edge lords. Lord of the Edge.
Oh my gosh.
So no. just ask Edgelord Marco.
Oh, that was the worst.
All your rules questions.
I hate all of these edge rule questions. They're not the kind of edgy I expected. Oh my gosh. Okay, Brad, last question. When Devastation Remastered hits Kickstarter, will there be an option for those who already have the game to just get some kind of upgrade kit without buying the whole dang thing again?
So that's the thing, is that Devastation Remastered, between the tuck boxes and a larger game box and a like having bases for all the characters and such, like basically making it like Trials, it may turn out that an upgrade kit is the same price as the base game.
Because there's just that much stuff.
There's just that much stuff, yeah. And and then also a large majority of the stuff of the price is shipping. So I don't know yet, and we haven't even started looking into that yet. But we will be. We're gonna try and offer something for folks that already have everything, but it may turn out that it just ends up being about the same price either way.
I see.
Or the savings is like $10 or something.
I see.
And it may just not be may not be worth it to create an extra custom product just for just to save those few dollars.
Oh. A follow-up question. What if I just wanted the updated styles and bases for the characters that got changed or balanced?
We'll see what we can do with all that. Again, like I said, we haven't really started thinking about it yet. But we're gonna try to do something. If at all possible, we're gonna try and do something.
All right.
But if you want like the big storage box, that is going to be the shelf box for Devastation, it may mean that just comes with its own thing.
Oh, okay.
Or it may just have to get Devastation Remastered to get the giant box, because the doing a couple of cards is one thing. Like redoing a block of cards is one thing, but shipping a gigantic box is another thing entirely.
Yeah.
And if it costs $60, to ship a box this size, then it doesn't matter how much is in it. It costs $60.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah, right. Like because there's a thing called volumetric weight, and so once the box reaches a certain size, the weight it becomes a certain weight even if it's lighter. So having a giant box that doesn't weigh much doesn't actually save you on shipping.
Good to know.
If the box is a certain size, then you've got to pay a certain amount for it.
Welcome to the Level Cap Podcast, where we tell you about shipping rates.
Yeah, shipping is kind of a pain.
Yeah, for everyone.
But there's a lot of things that people don't know and things that people expect. But we'll see. I mean, we're getting better and better shipping, localized shipping and stuff. So, yeah. I guess my answer to my long-winded answer to everyone is just wait and see. We're gonna do everything we can to make it affordable, and to make it fun.
Yeah.
But it'll be a nice expansion to the game and a nice reprint as well.
Definitely. Like when you say that you're gonna try to do something, I never doubt you for a second. Level 99 Games has always been a company about getting the games into the players' hands with the least amount of hassle possible. So, I'm pretty sure you guys will get it right. Also, don't say we're getting better and better shipping.
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't.
Well, we are. Like, I mean, last time we had, we shipped everything from the U.S. But now, like with Argent, we've got a shipper who is in China that's going to ship to Asia for us at a reduced rate. We've got a shipper in Australia that's going to ship to Australia and New Zealand at a reduced rate. Like we've been able to add all of these territories with improved shipping rates. And it's really nice because we have a lot of fans in Singapore and a lot of fans in Hong Kong and in China that are tired of paying $80 to ship a game that was made not 300 miles from their door.
Yeah, Or Philippines. Or Philippines.
Yeah, exactly. Philippines got a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
It would be really nice if we had someone in South America, but we don't have anyone in South America shipping for us yet.
No. Okay. We'll get there.
But yeah, we'll get there. But we are getting better at it.
No. Okay, Brad. So I let that happen because you were trying to explain how we were doing better when it comes to our shipping rates. I'm just telling you that people can misconstrue better shipping as the other meaning, the thing that
what with characters.
Yes, with characters. I mean,
I guess
because
God. I don't think romance has ever been a big thing in the world of Indians.
Are you
or
sure?
Any of our properties, really?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
I mean, fans do what they want to do.
But it's great. I actually like shipping in the games, but I mostly stick to canon shippings.
Okay.
Let's move on from this.
Yeah, but this is a little weird.
This is a little weird. The title of this episode. Brad, are you ready for our last segment?
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me a little guess?
Yeah.
Can you give me a little guess? What do you think the last segment is, Brad?
Well, it would be the pitch, right?
No, Brad. Haha! This is where I Phoenix Wright open the evidence folder and show you you're wrong, Brad. Because this...
No!
Yes, Luke. Because this last segment is welcome to the mythical world of Dark Soulsified.
Wait, this is the segment that made it?
This is the segment that made it, Brad. You died. That's now what Brad's face looked like. You died. That's what it says.
Why? Like, I mean, we had some legitimately good segment ideas. Why did this one make it? This is a bad joke.
Because this one... No, here's the thing.
Plus, it's already a recurring segment because we've already done it twice this episode.
No, you gotta understand this, though. Just because this one made it doesn't mean that the others didn't, Like, we'll do some of the other ones next week. So we're field testing. So between the two ideas that we presented every episode, we picked one of them, and we're gonna present all of those, and then we're gonna keep culling it down. This kind of like American Idol,
All right. Well, whichever one of you put in the comments, "Hey Marco, I want to see Dark Soulsified again." Just now you have to eat your cake because yeah.
This is what you wanted. This is what
oh
you
my
wanted.
Gosh. Why would you do this to me? Okay.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Lloyd just wanted to make you suffer again for Canada shipping rates. But here we go, Brad. here's my thing that you have to Dark Soulsify. All right. Brad, Dark Soulsify, a trip to the DMV.
A trip to the DMV. All right. So all right. So you go to the DMV and and there's all these forms, and the forms are are made of gritty stone, obviously, and you have to chisel your name into the forms. But anytime you get your name wrong with a chisel, you have to start from the very first form, even if other pages of the form are fine.
Oh no.
There's no checkpoints. And then the when you finally finish all the forms, you go up and the DMV teller, the person in the teller, attempts to send you to the back of the line, but you have to dodge all those attempts to go to the back of the line while throwing the forms, while hitting them with the forms. And if you can hit them with all the forms, then they're defeated, and you get your license, and now you can go drive. Then you crash and die.
You have to do it all over again, and you enjoy every minute of it.
Only the minutes where you're making progress.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that was actually pretty good. So that...
if you say so, I'll take your word for it.
The Dark Souls of DMV trips.
Okay.
Do you have anything for me, Brad? Anything for me on this wonderful Dark Soulsified segment?
I don't have anything. I didn't have anything prepared. Let me see. This is all kind of sprung on me suddenly. About about the Dark Souls of social media networks.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So to sign into this social media network, you actually have to go through 3 registration processes, and the last one is a face-to-face interview with Zark Muckerberg, the creator of Dark Book, which is the name of this Dark Souls social media website. Every time you make a post, okay, you have to receive a certain number of likes, and that actually, sorry, not likes, but a certain number of upvotes, right? And then the problem here is that you can't type, okay? Every post you make has to be made using a series of pre-generated phrases and sentences.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully these words of wisdom that you give your fellow dark bookers will help them survive life, I guess. However, here's the deal, okay, Brad?
Mm-hmm.
If your post does not receive a certain number of likes by the end of a day, your account gets deleted. And you have to go through the process again.
I see. I think that would be it's a pretty brutal social media network.
Yep.
Indeed.
I don't think it's social at all.
Well, I mean, there is messaging, so
I guess
there's messaging and upvoting, so I guess it's social.
Oh my gosh, I guess. So, listeners, this is what you wrought. This is what you made us do, and I hope you enjoyed our Dark Soulsified segment. So, Brad, are you ready for the Dark Souls of ending segments?
I dread the Dark Souls of ending segments. Carry on.
All right, Brad. I want to tell all of you listeners that I love all of you so much, but please don't vote for Dark Soulsified. Please. Even I'm begging you.
Oh dear.
I just read an article about Cuphead, and people were like, Cuphead, the Dark Souls of Mega Man platformers? I'm like, what are you even talking about?
What is that? That's like so many buzzwords. Like, the Dark Souls of Mega Man platformers?
Oh
like,
my gosh. What are people?
I mean, I think there's a real intellectual bankruptcy when we can't talk about things on their own terms. We have to talk about them in terms of other things.
Well, yeah, I guess.
And I don't mean that to be insulting. I mean it like we've kind of forgotten the language of describing things to an audience that's not already initiated.
Yeah, and it makes the barrier.
It creates a barrier.
Yeah, the barrier of entry gets really hard. It's so hard to discuss games with people sometimes because the terms we use are completely nonsensical outside of the context. So yeah,
well,
I don't know, Brad.
I think we've done it ourselves, really. Like saying like, oh, it's like this, or it's the this of this, or like we can do better than that.
Yeah, you know what, Brad? This is the Dark Souls of problems.
All right, goodbye, Marco. Goodbye. This has been Brad, President of 11 Games, and your host Marco, who's not allowed to talk anymore this episode. And we've had a great time talking with you, but now we're going away. So as usual, happy gaming, and we'll see you next week.
Happy gaming.
Bye bye.
I'm sorry.